Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of Alternate Future of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw the ending of World War V. Clearly, the map looks a lot different. Many of the strong powers of the world during World War V are, they're no longer, we'll say. America definitely fell off. Brazil actually out of them, Brazil probably got out third best, I would say. Um, Russia, they got cooked. China got cooked. India got cooked. West Africa, they didn't lose any land. They only gained land. So they got out the best of major powers in the war. And then there's Red Australia. They didn't lose any land. But, well, let's start off with today's episode. So, on the AN layer, well, Security Council is no more. But we do see some countries are like, okay, so the Security Council is no more. Yes, we know that. Oh, I didn't update this later. Okay, so we know the Security Council, it's no more. But some countries are like, okay, so are we just gonna have to make it so like every country has to go to every meeting now? Or what? So, what we see happening is a new version of the Security Council is created. And, I can just get on the right layer. It's not even the right layer. Alright, there we go. So, a new version's created. You know that much. And, with this, so, what countries do with this new Security Council? Firstly, it's not going to be called the Security Council. It they don't have an actual name for it yet, aka I don't know what to call it quite yet. Um, one of the suggested names for it, however, is the I just had a name for it. Dang it. Okay, it's the International Regional. mm, It's the regional or the International Region. mm, Um, International Regional or International Region AN something. I forgot the name of it. I will eventually come up with an actual name for it. But it's going to act similar to the Security Council, except all countries. Or what we'll see happen is all countries will kind of be like, I don't want to say like forced into the AN, because it's definitely not what's happening. So, um, like, there is one country that every country in the AN on every continent, well, sometimes it's not continents, it's kind of more divided than that. Like, we're not just gonna have one country for all of Europe, one for all of Africa. No, it's not gonna work like that. There will be two to, there's gonna be 2 to 4 countries per continent, actually 1 to 4 countries per continent, that will represent every nation on that continent. Some will have their own like distinct regions. I'll kind of update that in the next or before the next episode, along with the AN layer. Mhm. But for now, we see the new countries joining this, or the new countries that'll join the AN. We'll start off with those. So, almost every country that came out of the peace treaty for World War V will join the AN. we only see a select few will not. Like Paraguay will join, however, Rio de Janeiro doesn't, and but Colombia does. These two countries here will join, however, we do not see the yellow team here joining either. We'll pretend that that means the pink team's in. So every country in North America is in, which makes it the first continent to have every single country on the continent part of the AN. We we see this country here will join as well as Orange Guinea. These guys are gone now. Madagascar will also join this. They Not all these countries are joining at the same time. In fact, Madagascar joined before World War before World War V broke out. Australia will not be joining this. However, all of these Indonesian nations will, and same with the two Philippine islands. We see all of the countries that came the out of China will also join. I cannot select the right one. Right. Okay. So all of these countries here join. You got that. Korea will also join, as well as North Japan. We do not see Amur joining, and this country here. And lastly, it is these guys right here. Well, Azov doesn't exist. It's transferred to Estonia. And for the final country, or final two countries that are joining, it is Brittany. Right, it is Brittany and this blue French country. Don't know what to call them. No, the Dutch do not own this. I'm sorry, Maxine. Alright, so there we have it. Every country that is in the A. Every country has been updated. And I forgot I switched layers. Alright, so every country is now in the AN. Well, every country that is in the AN has officially joined. I shouldn't say it like that. Oh well. Alright, so now we go on to the AN security, which I will rename that. Um, but so there will be regions, obviously, that the world is kind of divided into. Like this is the Middle East, South Africa, East Africa, Western Europe. But each of these will have its own country that is kind of representing all of the countries. The only time where we kind of see this become transcontinental is in the Middle East, as Caucasia is a transcontinental nation, and then Central America. Colombia is put into the group of Central America. Same with the Caribbean and some of these other nations here. But all of North America, except for countries in Central America, are under one group. So for North America, the country that is decided to represent all of the nations is going to be California. Don't ask me why they choose California. I don't know. I mean, I should know, but I don't. So California is the first country. The next country chosen is Colombia for Central America. After that, for the rest of South America, we see this um these guys here are chosen. Y- we see Africa is kind of divided up into three groups. We kind of see West Africa and North Africa are kind of mingled with each other. So, like- like all the countries that are, eh, so all of the countries that are kind of north of this, north or west of that line, these countries are all going to be picked to be represent. Those countries will all be represented. Then we have East Africa, which is going to be all of these countries here. It's all of these countries here. That didn't work well, but you get the gist. And then the rest are South African. All right. So the countries chosen to represent these three groups will be Tanzania. For in South Africa, we see it being Namibia, and up here it is chosen as West Africa. Mesopotamia is just they're going to be the one chosen for the Middle East. In this region, it's Persia, the Mesopotamia, all of Arabia, the Anatolian Peninsula countries minus Greece, and then Caucasia. All right. We see Europe is divided up into two groups. It's just Western Europe, which any country that is west of Germany or um, Norway, all of these countries are Western Europe. The rest are Eastern. Also, yes, these guys are going to be counted as represented by West Africa. So for Western Europe, we see Ireland is chosen. It's kind of fitting. And for Eastern Europe, it is Greece, which is also kind of why I specified that they're not part of this one. So Asia was divided up into the Middle Eastern section. We have Central Asia, which is from Kazakhstan to uh, the Orange Afghanistan team, and then Tibet, this gold country, and these two here, as well as the Sierra Siberian nation. And the country chosen to represent these nations is actually going to be the Cyan team. Also, we do see the green team will request to be part of the Mesopotamian or the Middle Eastern uh representation group. So, not sure what's going on there. And our next one is it's just considered South Asia. It consists of the Lime team, the South Indian Union, India, Bangladesh, South China, Vietnam, and three Filipino nations. And the country chosen to represent these is South China, although India does not agree and thinks it should be them. And lastly, or second to last, we have East Asia, which is just Siberia, blue team, green team, in all countries east. And the country chosen to lead these guys is going to be Blue Japan. And lastly, Oceania, which is Oceania. There are only four countries here that are in the AN, which is Borneo, a central Indonesian country, and Papua New Guinea, and they will choose Borneo to lead them as they are the strongest. And maybe Papua New Guinea didn't quite understand what was going on. All right. So, also, I'm going to mention this. Hawaii is part of the Oceanic group. Technically, Hawaii is considered part of Oceania. So, there you have it. Alright, now let's get to the actual video. Even though this took, like, the entire episode already, we don't see much happening as of right now. But soon after the war has ended, we see four countries unite. The first nation that happens to be uniting will be Haiti with Crete, with this Cretan nation and this country, and then we see that Palestinian nation will also join them, and we see this kind of become. Some countries are like, okay, so we not let's just keep our eyes on this region because we see some unity going on. But then it's seen what this unity is, and some nations here are kind of saying, okay, so we've already united, let's join the Unitarians. All of these countries are under the same religion, being the Red Team religion, and they all really have common ideals, too, but they don't really, you don't really see it coming, or it doesn't appeal to all of the countries here. Haiti is the one that is the main one who's opposing Unitarianism, whereas Crete wants it. They they will keep Haiti in color and their capital, and that definitely looks a bit weird, but okay. Moving south, we see yet another union, though. We see Tanzania will unite with this red country here, as well as this yellow team. It's not the only union going on here, as or all of these countries that were once part of Namibia will also reunite. And well, this is kind of getting mm, it's kind of clear where some of these are heading. However, the first country that will fall, or I wouldn't say fall, but the first country to actually join Unitarianism is going to be the South Indian Union. They were actually going to join a lot sooner, but then World War Five broke out, and yeah. Coming over here, though, we do see another union taking place that will also lead into Unitarianism. I think this country is that the Unitarian? No. Okay. Well, these two countries unite, and we see Unitarianism is starting to spread quite quickly. The Unitarians are like like Ada's Pro has described them. They are extremely prosperous country, and we see that effect going on in both the South Indian Union and this European Union. But now let's move on to war. So everyone likes wars in this. Caspia will be invading yet another country. Someone is definitely happy right now. And that country is going to be this or this country as we've seen. They're communist and wait, are they? I think they're communist. Yeah, they're communist and well, they're not doing too well. The AN kind of called for Caspia to come in and intervene. Caspia did it for other purposes, But as you see, they were quickly, uh, I wouldn't say put up, but they're quickly annexed. Alright, going on over. Wait, oh, going on over to Japan. We see a bit of a fiasco happening over here. Korea will decide to invade a nation in Japan, and it happens to be one of their former allies. They land in the southern part of Blue Japan, and then suddenly, wait a minute, if we come back up to the AN security, these guys are the ones that are kind of representing East Asia. And the AN is like, okay, so, not trying to give out, like, special permissions or anything, but you're not going to be allowed to fully annex Japan. Um, because they're the country that is kind of, like, leading or representing your region, you're not allowed to. You're just simply not allowed to, uh, invade them. Well, you're allowed to invade them, but you're not allowed to, uh, annex them or take any of their land, really. Or pretty much, you can't really do much anything to the countries you're representing. And suddenly, a whole bunch of countries are like, ooh, okay. And, some of those certain countries also happen to be in unions. We have to get rid of that. But, so, but since these countries united under the country that they're representing, um, it's kind of not, it's allowed, but some nations are skeptical, like, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to unite then. I came to do this without a script. Also, you will notice that this will be the first of 14 videos. Or not just 14 videos, 14 episodes of Alternate Future of WICSO. Yep, as a 200 subscriber special, I am doing a week of Alternate Future of What If Civilization Started Over. And for anyone who celebrates Christmas, this is your Christmas present. What am I doing to myself? Alright. But that will do it for today's episode of Alternate Future of What If Civilization Started Over. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.